Alright, so this is going to be the first of 4 videos covering my Pro Chess League games for the Miami Champions as Board 4 versus the Atlantic Division leading St. Louis Archbishops. And we're going to get started with my game against number 2 in the world, Fabiano Caruana. And this video, these series videos, is brought to you by Oreos. We'll have an Oreo party today. See, the thing is, people just thought, it's like, oh, we're just going to get Oreos. Yeah, I told them we're going to have an Oreo party. I even put hashtag Oreo party, you know. Like, that was actually a thing. Like, that's pretty legit. But, yeah, you got to get moves right to get Oreos, dinguses. So you're going to have to actually do some work today. Probably not so much my moves, but my opponent's moves in these games. Maybe my moves in the 4th game. All right. Now, if you raise your hand and you get the move right, but you don't want the cookies anymore, you can donate to the less fortunates in the room, like Dylan. Or you can hoard them like Nikki. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I can't remember the last time I played a game where the person I was playing was like 700 points higher than me. It's like stupid. I think his USCF rating's almost 2,900 if it's not higher. So yeah, it's just extreme. So, needless to say, like out of all 4 games, I got a semblance of my preparation, or I forgot it, in all games except for this one. Caruana played something that I didn't expect. In the other 3 games, I got relative preparation. It's just in the game with Ramirez, I crapped the bed. So after G6, I was like, okay, I think I know what he's going for. He's either going to play a King's Indian or he's going to play a English against me. When I played C4, I'm like, you want to play C5? I'm inviting you into waters that I know. And he's like, nah, I'll wait and see what you do. So I'm like, okay, I'm also going to wait. Now, at this point, he could have defined the structure with E5, and a lot of people try to do this, but I feel that this is not the best way to go. So, okay, Ben, for 2 cookies, what would you do here with white, and why? And let's try not to take like 45 minutes for the answer. D3? That's a reasonable move that would go into an English, but it allows black to get to the position that he wants to.
Oh, I could play like...
So you get 1 cookie. Come choose a cookie. All right. We'll do it that way so you guys won't be on camera. There you go. All right, so the move that I've been doing well in this position with is D4 because there's not many choices here, and he pretty much has to take. And this line, it scores very, very well for white. G3, bishop G2, and the key idea, like for like DeMille, since you play these types of positions occasionally, is Queen A4, because it's going to be very difficult on the queen side for him to play D5 at the right moment. Let me go ahead and, yeah, you're right with the mint. So, clean break right then. All right, well, we'll go ahead, Cliff. I was right. So, that's what I was expecting. But then when he goes D6, I'm like, you got to be careful still. Because one player that I used to play against a lot, International Master Emery Tate, I'm going to have Oreo on my teeth, but it's fine. He was ready for this type of stuff, that at the right moment when you play D4, he would go C5. And then if you do anything else, he's going to take here. And these positions are stupid, and they're really technical. And I still don't know what he wants. I have a feeling that he's just going to do something weird. I play D4. Just enjoy that cookie. Now, he plays the move bishop G4 here. So, I have a few D4 players in the room. And I'll let you guys think for a second because I'll give you a little bit of context. I played this position once before in a tournament game against International Master Ron Burnett. And I just repeated the line that I did in that game because I had a good result. I've never really looked at this position too much because it's like a super duper offline. In King's Indian structures, if somebody is ever going to throw their pawns, you need the light square bishop for attacking purposes later in the game. So that being the case, I know that once that bishop gets traded off, and you're pretty much pot committed wasting time with it early, that we're just going to have a game where it's just going to be a long-term game. We're not going to be a typical King's Indian where we're attacking each other. So, any ideas for one or two cookies based off the quality of your answer? All right. Go ahead, that one.
E3.
Why? If you can't explain it, I mean, like if you saw the game, that's one thing. You guys should be like,
We saw it.
but why?
E3 because you can keep the center
Uh-huh.
in case he ever plays E4.
E5 or C5.
E5.
Yeah, E3 to support the center is reasonable. You may have a cookie. All right. Demille, what would you do?
Queen B3 attacking the B pawn.
Queen B3 is actually pretty interesting. Queen B3 is interesting in the sense that, like, if bishop takes F3, what would you do?
E takes.
Okay, and then if he plays something like, I'm looking at the fact that the D4 pawn's hanging in a lot of variations. So you only get half a cookie. No one likes you. No, you can get a cookie. I'm just playing.
I thought if he defends the B pawn,
Uh-huh.
I can play E3 and the queen's not being pinned anymore.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah.
stick with the G pawn so if he ever castles?
Yeah, I think take it with the G pawn's probably better in that situation. So, and then a main consideration is playing E4 here and transposing into this sideline of the King's Indian with Bishop G4. But I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play E3. After Knight D7, Bishop E2, and we have a colors reverse French defense, and since I wrote a book on it, needless to say, I'm comfortable. So you much rather stay in your comfort zone, and you'll learn a lesson from our round 3 game about comfort zones when I'm talking about it, because I played something outside my comfort zone, because I was like, I like this position, I'm going to play this. Dumb. But this, I understood. This I played a lot, and I'm not in trouble. So after E5, I'm like, let's go ahead and make sure we're getting rid of some pieces. And after C6, simple, castles. Knight E7, B3, simple development. Thinking about maybe in the long term hitting that. Castles, Bishop B2. All right, so for 2 cookies, what was wrong with Bishop A3? Right then. Uh-huh.
Kind of lost the movement of the bishop and kind of limits it.
Okay. Yeah.
You can flip the bishop and a knight with the queen.
Yeah, but what if I take on D6 with my bishop after that? Like Queen A5, Bishop takes D6. Yeah, White's winning in that line. Uh-huh.
Can't he just play C5? Would that be good for him?
You give me the D5 square forever at that point. I don't like that. Uh-huh.
Can you play Queen E5 just to develop the piece? Develop your queen and attacking his pieces?
So Bishop A3 and then Queen A5 is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then Bishop takes D6? And if he takes on C3, I take on E7, hitting your rook. You go rook E8, and then I move the bishop, and I'm up a pawn.
But then you win F5. And then takes your rook. No.
Okay, so
Never mind.
Just
If-
take the knight.
if Bishop A3 to start with, what about like E takes D4 first?
Oh,
In between.
I was thinking that because
Yeah, but you didn't say that. No cookies for you.
I don't want to steal from everyone else.
Oh my God, you're such a liar. So I was worried about the complications. And I mean, honestly, like, I'm playing solidly, because I'm scared I'm going to miss something. It's a 15-minute game against the number 2 player in the world. Like, when you just say it that way, you're like, yeah, okay. 700 points. All right. So I'm just like, yeah, bishop b2. Solid. Simple development. Knight f5. And already I was like, okay, that just puts pressure on d4. So let's eliminate that pressure. And I like my bishop pair, so I'm going to move him. And the computer's like with me so far. They're like, okay, Brian, you're not retarded. You know, a little bit good. That's good. Queen d7. Queen c2.
Did you go full blown?
No.
No, it's just an endgame where he beats him.
Rook 81. So the d6 pawn is the only weakness in the position. And he goes rook 88. Makes sense. I'm like, okay. So you mean to tell me he's going to let me take and mess up his pawn structure? Now the computer, and it's funny because I misevaluated this, and this isn't already an instructive moment. The computer liked white by about 6/10 of a pawn here because of the bishop pair and the one weakness in the position. White has no weaknesses. So the computer liked me just playing like rook d2 and doubling up to hit the d6 pawn, which is best play. Me, I'm just like, I could trade and not lose. So I was excited just like not to lose and to get to a position that I understood. So I'm like clip, and already like my advantage got cut in half. So what we know is double pawns are a weakness. What we know is that isolated pawn on d6 is a weakness. It's backwards, rather. So white should be better. Now, after our g takes f5, I go rook d2 because I'm defending my bishop in case my knight needs to move, and I'm getting prepared to double rooks. I'm doing all things that are good. I understand. Like, this is not a bad chess move. All right, so say you're playing black in this position. You're in a situation where you're playing an opponent hundreds of points lower. How are you going to generate counterplay? Like, what move do you make and why here? And this one is 4 cookies, but you have to give 2 to someone else. Uh-huh. All right, go ahead, Demilho.
I'm going to think about playing a6, b5.
Yeah, definitely too slow. That's a good evaluation. A6, b5. I mean, I'm going to continue with my plan of rook fd1, and you're already going to have to play a defensive move like bishop f8 or rook e6, and white's got what he wants there. White's definitely better. Uh-huh.
I was thinking of playing for d5.
Playing for d5, but I've got a grip on that square, so it takes too much time. Yeah, it's great to try to get rid of that weakness, but I'm not going to let you. Uh-huh.
This may sound stupid, but is it possible he can push f4? Because then after that pawn, can't he just keep on hitting it?
Okay, so can we push f4, getting rid of one of our double pawns? Well, I'll just take it right now, but get a cookie because you're on the right track. Mm-hmm. All right, Tyler? Yeah. You get the 4, meaning you get 2, and you share 2 with someone else. And then, yeah, rabble. Okay, if you're begging ruining my video,
Wait, so how does this
you get no cookies.
Just give
You
one
get
to-
2, and you get 2 more from any other pack, and you can share. Yeah, ooh. Ooh.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Can I share with myself?
No. It's a good try, though. Can I share with myself?
I mean, I asked.
All right. So remember what we're here for. It's up there, not like don't ruin the extra thing to make it interesting today. So knight g6 is what he played, and I continue with my plan, and he continues with his. Okay, now you're in my shoes. What do you play in this position? Because I spent a minute here because, of course, it's the first time I have to calculate in the game, and I'm just like shell-shocked from not calculating, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, ah, F4, oh my God. Like it's a big deal, but it's not. So what would you do here?
Take on f1
Take on F1.
F4, sorry.
Take on F1. No, can't take on F1. Take on F4 and then play what?
Rook takes D6.
Okay. Pawn takes F4, knight takes F4, rook takes D6.
Yeah.
After rook takes D6, bishop takes C3, bishop takes C3, knight E2 check, and then he wins your bishop on C3. You look confused because you can't even see that far.
Wait a minute, hang on. Because after you move and
Uh-huh.
take the bishop, because then you take the rook.
He takes your rook first because you're in check.
Yeah.
I think you should show him on the board.
Oh, okay, sweetheart. We're going to show you. Pawn takes, knight takes. If rook takes, and after rook takes, bishop takes, and after bishop takes, and that one's for you.
I didn't hear
There you go.
Sorry, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see the trade.
More puzzle rush.
I didn't see the
Uh-huh. Negative cookies for you. Throw up. We have a hand in the back. Yes, just not in here. That would be gross. Uh-huh. That one.
D5. So you have an idea of taking with a rook?
It's white. It's white to move.
Do better, D5, you cheater.
C5.
C5 is the worst positional move, and you lose a pawn. Like, come on. Uh-huh.
Wait.
Yeah, Hilbert. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking takes on F4, knight takes F4, and knight A4, so you can trade the bishops and then go back to your king on D6.
Okay. Nobody's hit on the move that I didn't play in the game that is the best move according to the computer. Uh-huh, Brady.
What do you play after E4?
I don't know. What would you play after E4?
Well, I'd have to figure out what I play.
Okay, say if bishop takes C3, what would you do after E4?
Bishop takes C3.
Okay, and then I play like rook takes E4.
Rook takes D6.
Okay, rook takes D6.
Rook takes D6.
Rook E1 check.
King H2.
F3.
Yeah.
And I'm threatening bishop E5 check, winning the rook. But that actually is the best move according to the computer, so you get 2 cookies. E4 is the best move. Because after E4, if bishop takes, this is actually completely fine because the bishop on the long diagonal is threatening mate. He missed that part. I was just messing with him. So you only get 2. You'd have gotten 2 more. But in the game, I was like, E4. Yeah, he just takes on C3 and I lose. I didn't even see further than that. I'm just like, okay, fast calculation. All right, find a line. What I'm worried about is the line that Jackson wholeheartedly ran into losing a piece. And I'm like, yeah, I need to go ahead and not allow that. So if you can find the defensive idea that I used in the game, that's 4 cookies, 2 for you, 2 for somebody else. Uh-huh. Rook D3? No. If you want to have a worse pawn structure and lose, go ahead and play Rook D3. Because pawn takes, rook takes, pawn takes. You got a nice Alani that he can attack with his bishop and just like kill you or something. Ben, go ahead.
Either King F1 or King H1.
Which one? Which one makes more sense? Why?
Because then the knight can't come to E2 with checks and stuff like that when after.
Yeah. So King F1 is the defensive idea, but
I didn't say it right.
yeah, because Hilbert told you,
No,
and then
Hilbert.
get 4 cookies and share with someone else. I'm not arguing with you.
I told you.
Okay.
I said King F1.
Freaking cheaters.
Already had the idea.
All right, so I took on F4, and then in order to stop any of the nonsense, I play King F1 because keep in mind, Rook takes D6 led to this line, and it's just like, why did I get my opportunity to play against the boss if I'm going to waste it playing like trash like I did in game 3? So I play King F1, and then he goes Rook E6.
I'll eat my first two.
All right, what would you do here? How about a Murray? Yeah, you guys are mute. Okay, I pressed the button. You're off of mute. You can, like, try. What would you do with white here? It's white move.
If I'm being, I'm just gonna say move at G6.
Okay, G6 is here.
G3, sorry.
G3, knight takes H3. You lost a pawn. No cookies for you.
Man, move your big head.
You like my big head?
All right. I know what I played.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a carrot cake just to try it out. See how close it is to carrot cake.
Bishop. Oh, no, never mind. You
I'm
guys-
gonna walk and cook it. It's like gingerbread. It's interesting.
Is it good now if you go C5?
Now you go C5. C5 is just as wrong as it was before. He goes D5. Quit trying to play C5 and make his position better.
It's never good.
Yeah, she's like, he's not gonna let you sit there. And even if you could play C5 and then C takes D6, that would probably help black because it gets rid of his weakness and then he can attack yours.
After you play knight e4 to attack the d6 pawn.
Now you suck. He'll play D5 after bishop takes C3 or something.
Shut up.
Keep in mind, the way you change the pawn structure makes a difference. I didn't understand how the pawn structure was changing in the upcoming endgame. I got wrecked. So that's when we're really going to learn something.
Can you just play knight e2?
All right, so if I play knight e2, and he goes rook takes e2, what do you do?
Rook takes e2. Bishop takes e2. I mean bishop, not e2, sorry. Bishop
What?
takes g7.
Then you lose.
Or
You lose
rook
even
takes.
more. You lose
I mean
a
rook,
piece.
yeah.
Rook
That's
takes
not good.
E7.
Take a moment.
Yeah.
Knight e2, rook takes e2. You don't want to go bishop takes g7.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm just...
Right?
Then rook takes E2. And
No,
I wasn't
knight takes
thinking.
e2. How can you play knight takes e2 when your knight's on e2?
If you trade everything, he goes bishop takes b2 at the end.
And then take his knight. Right? Oh, yeah,
No,
so
if you play rook takes and then knight takes,
Start
and
out
bishop
at-
oh
takes.
wait, oh you can.
And then he goes knight g3 check.
Oh wait,
Then
you
you
play
take it
knight.
and then
He takes back on g7.
That's a worse pawn.
Can you play bishop
Mhm.
h6 after you take? Because then if you take...
No. Too many moves. You just gave yourself like at least 3 moves with white in there at some point.
So then takes
All right, Dylan, no. Dylan, I know what you're going to say, and C5 is still wrong, buddy. Bless your heart. Just get a cookie because you're trying.
Alright.
I'm an equal opportunity teacher.
Dylan, how about you say D5?
Yeah, Dylan and the broken one. Both of you guys can get a cookie. Yeah, go ahead. I feel sorry for the broken people.
You go knight E2. if knight takes, then rook, then you can do rook takes and then rook takes. Then you take bishop.
Uh-huh.
And then after king takes rook.
King takes knight, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did play knight e2. So, yeah.
Cookie.
Yeah, you get 4, and you get to share with somebody else.
Sarah, dude.
Yeah, because I
No,
said...
no,
I'm not poor anymore.
So then after knight takes, bishop takes. The key is that the bishop is cutting off the escape squares of the knight. So then, okay, if we're going to interrupt continually, I'm going to end the video and we're not going to have a fun talk. So, after bishop takes, he goes knight g3 check, I take, he takes, and then I go g4. And all this was okay. G4 is the best move. Why did I need to play G4 right now? Why is there a sense of urgency with playing G4? Yibba?
Then play rook E3.
You're wrong. Because then I would play G4 then.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So you go h4 or h5 or f5 and you won't be able to
Which one's better and why?
h5 is better because if you place f5 then you can target it easier.
Correct. So if I didn't play G4 immediately, he's going to go H5. And in the event of G4, he'll play H takes, and then I have double G pawns forever. He would not go F5 versus H5 is because the F pawn is covering the 7th rank for him. The H pawn is inferior to the F pawn in every rook and pawn endgame. This is how you should think about the basics of the endgame. So when I play G4, I'm like, bah! Rook and pawn endgame. All right, I understand this. No, I don't. Not in comparison to this guy. So king F6, and I'm like, I can move my king too. He goes king E7. And yeah, you can read my note. This is where you see a slightly better position for white turned into complete doo-doo. Time trouble and incompetence will do that to you.
Did you play rookie too?
I didn't know what to do. You come up with a constructive plan for white here.
I was asking if you were gonna play.
It's definitely not C5.
He's probably doing good too.
Uh-huh.
I'll probably do like, since he is like 700 points higher, probably rookie too, just to make it a little simpler in the game.
Yeah, are you going to take and make his pawn structure better? Then why you want to play rookie too? Trading doesn't make things better. It makes it worse. I traded into this. Uh-huh.
Rook D3, just run over the F file and try and get something better.
Oh, yeah, because I'm definitely going to have time.
He played that, right?
Yeah, I played rook d3, but I had nothing doing there, boss.
It's probably like C5. Like A3.
Important interruption. At this time, I know email has been down and phones have been out. All track team members, please report to the gym at this time. All 4th, 5th, and middle school track members to the gym. And all middle school boys trying out for baseball report to the gym. And then to the bus blue both teams for dismissal. Thank you.
So many words in that announcement.
It's someone
Okay.
putting the screaming
Yeah,
in the
Braden?
background.
Rookie 1.
Okay, you're just as wrong as DeMille was, just in a different way.
It is worse.
I want to do it C5.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
A3, king F3 and try to get your king closer to his center.
Yeah, let's get mated. Yeah, king f3 to go king f4, then king g5, and not be able to get anywhere because he has a rook on e6. Let's go ahead and get our king away from our pawn majority and lose like Seth Rahman did in the Pro League.
Let's just play
Yeah,
B4.
I showed you guys that game. Jesus.
That's disgusting.
Uh-huh.
A4 for counterplay and a pawn on the queen side.
Jesus. Counterplay on the queen side with a4. Dylan, are you trying to find the worst moves in the position? a4 not only weakens the pawn structure, making it easier for him to get to the base pawn, which is b3, it also makes it easier for his pawn majority to come in contact with ours. You'll see over the rest of the game how he uses his 4-3 majority in order to create passers. That's the plan for black here. It's very straightforward. White, on the other hand, has 3 pawns, but it's the type of pawns that were dropped on their head as a baby, like the G-pawn. That the bottom G-pawn's like kind of broken.
The bottom D pawn is like.
Oh, you want to play G3 and make those pawns weaker too? Sounds great, Ben. I still don't know how to play this. I mean, I looked at it with the engine. Engine's no help in this type of position. Uh-huh.
Can you like just play rookie 2 but not to trade, just to keep the tempo?
Yeah, just to like waste a full move for no reason. That always helps you. I pass. That's basically what I did, and we look what happened in the game in a minute. Uh-huh.
Is that actual H4?
Is there an actual right move? I don't know the answer. Like, someone already said H4. It helps if we listen to others, and you're still just as wrong as they were. All right. So, okay, I play rook d3. He goes rook e5. And I play rook d2 because, I mean, honestly, I've got like 5 minutes, and he's just like playing fast chess the whole time. He's got like 11 minutes out of 15. And I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to be like, show me. Oh, don't you worry, they will. So then he starts with his majority, and now he's threatening a4 in some variations. So then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and like do this. He's like, okay, I'm going to stop you from doing anything over here. I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm going to look like I'm doing something. Look at me go. King e6. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do here. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like you get the mental image of like Paul White or Andre the Giant, somebody who's like 7 feet tall. And it's like Ben trying to fight him. And Ben's really mean and vicious. And they're just like, they got the hand on the forehead. And there's nothing that can be done. That's what I feel like in this game. It's just like, I'm not getting anywhere. So rook d7. King f4. Yeah, shuffling rooks and the king's really going to do something in the position. But I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. He goes b5, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't need him to take, making my pawns weaker. So I'm going to take. And then I'm like, yeah, he just made himself a passed pawn on the d file. That was pretty sweet what he just did there. He gave me an impossible choice where everything is bad. That must be a good move. I'm like, I keep saying to myself, there's got to be something I can do. And I'm like, yeah, check. Yes. Moral victory. Check number 2. Rookie 5. And I'm like, no. I'm attacking a weak pawn. And he's like, no, you're not. And what I'm worried about here is the D pawn starting to march forward. So as long as I'm looking at a C pawn, his D pawn can't move. So I'm gonna move my king. Now he comes over here and he's looking at A4, and I'm like, no. But the thing is, he could even play A4 here, and probably this is still a winning rook and pawn in game. But what is my plan if he plays A4? You need to see all the ideas here, because this is technique and rook and pawn in games. Because I figured out why he didn't play A4, and that was the reason I played rook C4, but I'm down to like 2 minutes on the clock already, because I'm just trying to figure things out, 'cause, like, I'm bad at chess.
Because if rook takes and say he takes.
No, go ahead, because if rook takes. No, the double pawns aren't going anywhere, and you gave him connected pass pawns. That's got to be bad, but that's not the reason. Like, he wanted me to do that. That was... If I would take, he'd probably be like, yeah, I'll go ahead and end that line and beat you with the 2 connected pass pawns.
Can't you take with the B pawn and try to get your rook to A3 to try to... Okay.
No, you take with the B pawn, you double the pawns. His rook's going to eventually make it over there and collect both of them. He's got the 2 connected pass pawns on the D and C file, and you lose.
Because you play B4 and your rooks get behind it.
There you go. If he goes A4, I go B4, and then the game's probably a draw.
Or you can win, because you get
Hey, that's the first time anybody said, or you could win. Whoa, now. You need to pull on the brakes pretty hard there, buddy. I got 2 minutes to 11 minutes.
Give homework some cookies.
Yeah, get you a cookie.
You're welcome.
Or 3. Oh, 3 cookies.
Have to share one?
No. No sharing.
I gave them a 1.
Mhm. So after rook A6, rook F4, and remember what I just said earlier? I don't need to move the rook because he's going to then push the D pawn. I need to play something like, I don't know, king F2 or something. But no, I decided to play rook F4 and basically resign. Now it's +1 and I've got no plan. It's even worse, and I'm like, king, rook, and just watch his technique. It's beautiful. He doubles up over here. Now, +2. Pawn's weaker.
Check in.
Done, son.
Now, my king's completely out of the game. He stops me from creating counterplay over here. So I'm like almost out of time, so I'm just making moves, I'm going to be honest. Like, maybe I can make a passer. Got to give that pawn just to have a chance. This is very clean.
Sack for the pawn.
And what's the best move for black here?
rook A3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
Now, what's the best move for black here?
King B2.
King B1.
King B3. Rook C3.
Cookies. Rook C3, 2. That type of technique is building a bridge. And, I mean, I saw it long beforehand. I played the move, so it could be instructive for this type of moment. And I resigned here because, I mean, it's pretty apparent why. Like, that's one of my rules in the Pro League. I don't want to pull a Gawain Jones and, like, play on in king and 2 knights versus king for, like, 20 minutes for no reason whatsoever against one of the best players in the world. I'm not going to be, like, a poor sport about it. Like, when you're dead lost, resign. And, somebody who's not here did that at the state championship. Sits over there normally. Like, when I came by at one point, if you're, like, 4 pieces down, and it's like king and a bunch of pawns versus, like, king, 2 rooks, and a knight or something, and you're still playing on, and it looks like you're thinking and stuff, don't. Just
It just ruins your enemy.
please resign. It's disrespectful to your opponent, in my opinion. And then on top of that, like,
Unless you're playing an interception.
I mean, yeah, like,
That might draw.
Yeah, let's be fair. If you're a complete beginner and you're playing with beginners, like you just learned Peace Movement, it's your first tournament, that type of stuff, and you're playing against other unrateds, have at it. Because they could stalemate and screw up a basic checkmate. But if it's anybody, we'll be fair. United States Chess Federation rating, anybody 1,000 or over is not going to screw this up. Let's be fair. Even though we have seen like Ben stalemate and Murray Oh, Murray's not 1,000 though. Do Murray. Oh, you were. And then you started stalemating people apparently, and then that's how you lost it. No patience at the end of the game, there, boss. Yeah. Yeah, but Ben stalemated in this very room in a tournament game, so it feels even more. Well, that wall had it coming, Christian. It looked at him wrong. Hey, mistakes happen. All right, so that's the game against Caruana. We'll do another game tomorrow, probably, judging by how long it takes for us to get through this with the cookies. So we probably won't do the cookie thing later and get through all 3 games tomorrow. But tomorrow we're going to look at my game in depth against Wesley So. And I can't do hashtag so what anymore because he handed me my butt. And it just doesn't seem right. But it's a very instructive game in the Queen's Gambit, and he played a beautiful novelty. And as soon as he played it, I was like, oh, God, he's still in preparation. I'm not. And I got hammered. So that was really fun, except not at all. Like, if fun is like losing, then that was so much fun.